the NCA had preferred the easy option of a pecuniary fine and regularization of the defective FM authorization, but was compelled to obey the ECT decision to shut down defaulting stations. Subsequent to this decision, the authority in December 2018 took steps to ensure that all such stations operating with expired authorizations were closed down, since they didn't have a valid authorization with which to operate. They were, however, given the opportunity to submit fresh applications for consideration on a case-by-case basis. Dissatisfied with this decision as well, one of the defaulting radio stations, Mediama FM Limited, again appealed to the ECT, arguing amongst others that since they had already submitted their application for renewal of their authorization, the authority had no right to close them down. In its ruling on this application for stay of execution pending appeal in the instant case of Mediama FM Limited versus National Communications Authority, delivered after the expiration of authorization, was invalid and as such could not be processed. The tribunal stated clearly that the only remedy available to a such stations in May and June 2019 for operating without valid authorizations. Once again, some stations filed fresh appeals in the ECT in June 2019. Let me just give you some statistics on the FM audit. A total of 144 FM stations were identified for various infractions with the authorizations from the 2017 FM audit. 57 out of the 144 were closed down in 2018 and 2019, following the decisions of the Electronic Communications Tribunal. In accordance with the decisions of the ECT, 30 out of the 57 stations have submitted fresh applications for FM authorizations, of which 15 have been processed and issued. The applications for the remaining 15 stations are still being processed, and the outcome will be communicated to them after they have gone through all the requisite processes, including technical review, management review, and board approval. Needless to say, their previous conduct will also be factored into the review process. 27 out of the 57 stations that were closed down have not submitted fresh applications for new FM authorizations. It is factually incorrect and a blatant untruth to say, as some, including former President Mahama and the Media Foundation for West Africa, who really ought to have known better, have sought to portray that only opposition radio stations have been targeted for closure using the law. No such intention actuated this exercise, and I am sure we can claim that all the 144 stations in breach of the Electronic Communications Act were NDC or opposition radio stations. I know for a fact that a station owned by the current Deputy Speaker, Honorable Ursula Owusu, who cannot be an opposition member, has been closed down. I know of only two, XYZ and Radio Gold, which fall within the NDC fold, and the latter, Radio Gold, had operated without renewing their authorization for 16 years. They are certainly not untouchable or above the law, as some would have us believe. Resignation of chairperson of the ECT and composition of new members. While all these cases were pending before the tribunal, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Dateba, submitted his resignation letter to the Public Services Commission, the appointing authority, in June 2019. In his resignation letter, he stated that his resignation was to take effect on 1st July 2019. he did not see pressure from any quarter as the reason for resignation, and I certainly have never spoken to any member of the tribunal concerning their work. The Public Services Commission accepted his resignation and decided to recompose the tribunal's panel and announced the appointment of new members in August 2019. The new panel, however, could not start sitting until after the legal vacation. The new panel, chaired by Dr. Kisi Ejabeng, resumed sitting on 8th October 2019. It is therefore untrue to say that the Public Services Commission has refused to reconstitute the ECT, as the former president intimated. To put it mildly, JM goofed again. Continuance of legal actions by some defaulting FM stations. During the intervening period, some stations that had instituted actions before the tribunal against the SCA filed notices of discontinuance. At its sitting on 8th October 2019, the tribunal considered the notices of discontinuance and accordingly struck out the appeal as withdrawn without liberty to reapply. Subsequent to that, one station on 10th October 2019 also appeared before the tribunal and withdrew its appeal, and same was struck out as withdrawn. It is instructive to note that even though during the pendency of these appeals, some stations had submitted fresh applications for consideration in accordance with the previous ruling of the ECT, these applications could not be considered as their appeals were still pending. These are the bare facts, and I hope all commentators henceforth will desist from ascribing non-existent political motive to this exercise, which is just meant to ensure compliance with existing laws and regulations. The media should hold itself to the same high standards that it holds everyone else to. You are not above the law.